registered to vote? Are you guys registered to vote? Are you registered to vote? I am registered. Awesome. Do you want some free candy?
Voters are fired up, and a robust voter turnout is expected this fall.
Part in this civic duty of voting. And so we want everyone, especially our young people and everyone in the sound of this voice that I'm putting before you now, to understand how important this is. I'm from Macon,
And
Georgia.
yet, 60 years after the passage of the Civil Rights and Voting Rights laws, voters are facing barriers to the ballot box. Fewer polling places in low-income areas, strict voter ID laws, limited voting times, restrictions to registration, and the purging of voter rolls.
The local election board. That should not be the case under any circumstances. Once individuals are registered and they're qualified, they should be allowed to participate in this election. And we should not allow any set of interests to steal the election by removing qualified individuals from the act.
To take account of where we are today, we need to look to history. Dialogue on Race Louisiana is bringing this presentation of Behind the March. In this episode, we look at the voting rights struggle in the Deep South through the lens of two southern cities, Tuskegee, Alabama, and Plaquemine, Louisiana. It shows how Tuskegee's strategy of an economic boycott energized Plaquemine's fight for the right to vote. Jim Crow segregation laws were strict laws that left black citizens in the Deep South little to no rights. And they saw the vote as a fundamental right upon which all other civil rights rest. Without those basic rights, their future was bleak.
Precious Lord, take my hand, lead me on, let me stand. I am tired. I'm so weak. I get so worn, yeah. Ooh, the the night. Lead me on to the light. Take my hand, precious. You just lead me on. Oh, Lord. When my way grows so dreary, precious Lord, linger, linger, linger near. When my life is almost gone. Wait a minute. When I can't go forward, and I don't want to go back, I just stand up and wait on Jesus. And I just fold my arms across my bosom, and this is what I tell him. Somebody got to stand. Got my feet. Hold my hand. Then I sometimes. I just said,
Plaquemine, a deep South community 15 minutes from the Louisiana state capital. The black citizens decided to stand up for their right to vote by holding a voter registration drive under the leadership of the Congress of Racial Equality, known as CORE. The field director was 22-year-old Ronnie Moore.
To register, she'll interview and give applications to only one applicant at a time. In other words, you can have 150 people outside the registrar's office. According to state law, the registrar can take in one person at a time.
Moore and other field directors held training and strategy meetings to prepare the citizens for the discrimination they would face when they showed up to the Registrar of Voters' office.
Then you read and write a portion of the preamble to the United States Constitution from dictation by the registrar. The registrar will read to you, "We the people of the United States," if you're white. If you're a Negro, she'll read to you, "Ensure domestic tranquility."
But city officials blocked their attempts to register to vote, and that's when the voter registration drive became a protest.
My only desire is freedom. At any cost, I'm willing to die for it, but my only desire is freedom! Win! What do we want? Freedom! Win! Do you want it tomorrow? Do you want it a week from now? Do you want it a month from now? When do you want it? What do you want? Freedom! Freedom! I'm gonna let nobody turn me. I'm gonna turn.
But they did turn around. After hundreds of arrests overflowed the jails and the local fairground was used to detain the continual arrest of protesters. With city officials escalating enforcement of Jim Crow laws, Plaquemine citizens began to retreat.
But at 9 o'clock at night, Reverend, now you know that 9 o'clock at night is the wrong time. Now you can come there during the daytime. In the next few months you will have political...
The field secretary, Ronnie Moore, asked the founder of CORE, James Farmer, to come to Plaquemine.
You have a great fight going on here in this parish and in this city. I understand that there is one little section that should be a part of this city that is not in it. DuPont Annex and... Now, you know very well why it is that they have not included DuPont Annex and Seymourville into the city of Plaquemine. You know why. Vote, vote, vote. They are afraid of your votes. But you have every right to be a part of that city. You know, they've tried it in Tuskegee, Alabama. They tried to gerrymander the Negroes outside of the city. They had been in, but once the Negroes registered and voted, then they redistricted the lines and move the Negroes outside of the city. Well, they're doing the same thing here, you see. Because of your vote, they are refusing to take you in to the city. Now, you can stop it, you know. The same way Tuskegee Institute did. You know how they did it? They said, very well, if you don't let us in the city, don't let us vote in the city, we will stop spending our money in that city. I think you can break it. Make your demands for inclusion and incorporation into the city for both DuPont Annex and Seymourville. If they refuse, then make it plain that you are not going to spend one more green Yankee dollar. my Christian friends, nobody ever respects you unless you respect yourself.
It was in 1957 that Tuskegee, Alabama, began a protest movement over lawmakers' decision to block voting rights of black citizens by gerrymandering parts of the community out of the city. Black citizens formed the Tuskegee Civic Association and through regular strategy meetings staged a 3-year economic boycott to demand their right to vote. They also invited Dr. Martin Luther King to Tuskegee.
It isn't easy. And I don't want to leave you with a sort of a superficial optimism this evening. The road that leads to the city of freedom is not a straight road. It has its curves. It's a meandering road. And we must see that. If we are to gain first-class citizenship and human dignity in the Southland, we must be willing to sacrifice. I don't know, it might mean going to jail.
That's right.
But I've come to see now that if going to jail is a price that we must pay to gain freedom, we must be willing to fill up the jailhouses of the South.
Farmer's account of Tuskegee had strengthened Plaquemine citizens' resolve to fight on. They recognized that local lawmakers had gerrymandered 2 of their communities out of the city. Despite the personal risks to their individual lives, they were determined to continue the fight for their right to register to vote.
There will be a march tonight. Now, all you lovers of freedom, if you want to be free, stick with me. I'm going tonight. It's not very likely that you're going to hear my voice too frequently after tonight. But we don't like the condition at the fairground, and we intend to exercise our right to protest. I'm going to give you instructions. We will be driven out to an area in Seymourville. Wait a minute. From which we will march to the fairground.
And at the summer's end, voter registration and nonviolent direct action had become like the 2 sides of a single coin. James Farmer and many of the other leaders were still in jail when the final registration reports were given.
110 people were denied registration. 27 became registered. Now in West Louisiana Parish, 2 people applied for registration. Both were denied and 1 person was jailed.
Out of 220, we got 17 registered. 95 passed. 45 failed.
The dismal registration numbers were a hard reality for their direct, nonviolent movement.
48 passed and 49 failed.
45 out of 195.
So at the close of Corps' task force work, a contingent of Plaquemine residents boarded a bus for the March on Washington.
Bible. Freedom now. All right, right now.
It was local movements like Plaquemine and Tuskegee over their discontent with the old century-long laws that barred them from full citizenship that were the catalyst for bringing their collective voices to the nation to demand their rights as citizens of the United States of America.
In a little tent, oh, and just like the river I've been running ever since. It's been a long
It would be fatal for the nation to
overlook the urgency of the moment.
Oh, yes, it will. It's been too hard living, but I'm afraid to die. 'Cause I don't know what's up there beyond the sky. It's been a long time coming.
There will be neither rest nor tranquility in America until the Negro is granted his citizenship rights.
I go to the movie and I go downtown. Somebody keep telling me don't hang around. It's been a long time coming, but I know a change gonna come. Oh, yes, it will.
The whirlwinds of revolt will continue to shake the foundations of our nation until the bright day of justice emerges.
And I say, brother, help me please. But he winds up knocking me back down on my knees. Oh, there've been times that I thought I couldn't last for long, but now I think I'm able to carry on. It's been a long time coming, but I know a change gonna come. Oh, yes, it will.
Let freedom ring, and if America is to be a great nation, this must become true.
Fred Gray and Ronnie Moore, two living civil rights icons, have passed the baton to this generation.
We were fortunate enough to have a court during the early stages of my career that really, in my opinion, looked at the Constitution, and it wasn't a political matter. While it may have been a political appointment, they realized that once they took an oath of office as a justice on the Supreme Court, everything else is unimportant. Who appointed them, who voted for them, or who voted against them. If we are not careful, we could end up losing some of the gains we have. And while we have many of our people now who have jobs and doing a lot better than when I was coming up, we still have these problems. And those basic problems are the same: racism and inequality. We have changed the laws, but we haven't changed the attitudes behind the persons who are enforcing those laws. And those are some of our problems. And you young people are going to have to be able to help solve them.
I think that just like we are moved to bring about change, young people today are bringing about change. And the most powerful thing I saw in recent years, had it not been for the young people who would not have had the first black president of the United States, they turned out and determined the outcome of that election. And I find that they're also equally as spiritual. They may be going to church, okay? In terms of right and wrong, a sense of justice and righteousness, young people got it. My focus in these days ahead is on the high school seniors and the first and second year college students. The League of Women Voters and the NAACP in St. Tammany County registered to vote all of the high school seniors in that county. Dealing with black and white high school, register them to vote, not telling them anything else, register them to vote. And I think that's the challenge of the future, is the civic engagement of our posterity, that they can learn and move the system as they have learned to deal with protest.
Dialogue on Race Louisiana's presentation of this captivating history reveals what we can learn from challenging centuries of an enduring legacy of injustice in society. It also holds clues for how we can use this newly energized momentum to secure voting rights and all civil rights as part of America's new narrative.
Then did I then start? Oh,